Will it be a new director of football or will it be a sporting director? I say it like that because Manchester City are, we understand, closing in on an agreement for Hugo Viana to come here to the City Football Academy and replace Ziki Begiristain. Hugo Viana is currently the director of football at Sporting in Lisbon. It's a role where he's enjoyed plenty of success over the last 6 years in tenure, 2 league titles in that 6 years, including last summer when they won the title for the first time in 3 seasons. And his role in helping them return to the top of Portuguese football has been credited. He's put them in a position where they're top of the Portuguese table once again. And fans in the Premier League might remember Hugo Viana as a young, potentially talented young player coming in from Portugal when he joined Newcastle in the early 2000s. Now, that was an underwhelming stint in English football, it has to be said. He didn't quite live up to the expectation. But since he's developed his career, went on to be a Portuguese international player. But certainly since he's retired is when he's had most impact. Remember, we brought you the news earlier this week that Ziki Begiristain was going to be stepping down, or expected certainly to step down this summer. At the age of 60, expected that this was the time where he'd already hung on, worked with Pep Guardiola and brought such a tremendous era of success here to Manchester City. Remember, he joined the club in 2012, so all of the trophies that line the walls of the honours boards here at the City Football Academy were under the stewardship of Ziki Begiristain. And in this room, Pep Guardiola has spoken at length about the impact and importance of his good friend Ziki. Remember, the pair of them were at Barcelona together, so they've had that ongoing working relationship, which is understood to be certainly coming to an end this summer. And the interesting thing about Hugo Viana and potentially this deal getting close now is that City want to have the new man, the replacement for Ziki Begiristain, to be here in post with maybe a 6-month handover so he can work alongside Begiristain in the final part of this season, understand what makes Manchester City tick, and perhaps even build that relationship with Pep Guardiola, whose own future remains uncertain. We've still had nothing concrete either way on whether he will choose to stay beyond the end of his contract, which expires in the summer. So certainly seems as though Manchester City have taken a big step forward in this potential appointment. Some reports suggesting Viana could even be in post by as early as next week.
90 years in the making. Haaland surpasses Jurgen Juve's Norway record in style. Jurgen Juve might not be a name that familiar to City fans, but you can bet Erling Haaland and the rest of Norway all there is to know about Juve and his exploits. Between 1929 and 1934, Juve represented his country 45 times, scoring 33 goals, becoming Norway's record goal scorer in the process. It was a record that would stand for 90 years, until Haaland, who had been in the Norwegian legend's rearview mirror for the past couple of years, finally surpassed Juve's tally with a brace against Slovenia on Thursday evening. Was a moment of enormous pride for Erling and his family, and one of great joy for Juve's widow, Eva Rain, now 95. It's almost scary. Imagine how fast the years have passed, said Eva to former Miss Norway, speaking to Norwegian newspaper VG. I've been thinking a bit about what Jurgen would have said today. He would probably find this exciting. He would have liked to be caught up by a player as good as Erling Haaland. Now, I'm going to watch Haaland, and then I'm going to see if he's as good as they say. Juve, nicknamed the Lightning, would captain Norway to a 1936 Olympic bronze medal and later became a journalist and author. He sadly passed away in 1983, aged 76, but would have scarcely believed that his record would last a further 41 years, given some of the Norwegian strikers, such as Ole Gunnar Solskjær, John Carew and Jan Age Fjortoft, that came and went. In between, he spent some of his career at Lynn, where Oscar Bob learned his trade before joining City, and his name will continue to be talked of in revered tones for many years to come. But the 10th of October, 2024, was Erling Haaland's night.